Hi everyone, it's Spirituality. Now, when I asked you guys what kind of content you wanted to see when I first started this YouTube channel, I surprisingly got a lot of people asking for videos on beginner crystals. And I don't know why I was so surprised. I guess I just thought that maybe that kind of information would be out there already. But you guys are asking for it, so I am here to deliver. So, here's the tea. So first, I kind of want to touch on what constitutes as a beginner crystal. Everyone's going to have a different definition of what crystal is a good beginner crystal. But in my opinion, a good crystal for beginners is one that is powerful but not overwhelmingly so, as well as crystals that are relatively accessible and not too expensive. So for example, moldavite is not a beginner crystal. It's hard to find, there's a lot of fakes out there, and it's expensive and very potent and powerful and don't do it. So all of the crystals that I will be mentioning here today are relatively cheap depending on where you live and where you get it from, and are pretty accessible and common, and also just have like good beginner vibes to kind of dip your feet into the world of crystals. So first, as my crystal lovers will know, is clear quartz. Now I don't have, let's see, focus. Is it gonna focus? Okay. I didn't have an actual clear quartz crystal, I just had a necklace. But clear quartz can be used for just about anything. You might hear witches say things along the lines of, a white candle can be substituted for any color, or rosemary can be substituted for any herb. There's some debate on whether or not this is true, but clear quartz can be substituted for any crystal. If you need protection, clear quartz. You want to sleep better? Clear quartz. You need love? Clear quartz. Anything that you could possibly imagine, you can use clear quartz for. Clear quartz is also extremely common. You can find it at just about any metaphysical store, and sometimes even not at metaphysical stores. And it's relatively inexpensive because it's so common. Okay, and next, onto more specific use crystals. Amethyst. I talked about this in my Q&A video. Someone had asked what's a good beginner crystal, and I said amethyst, but I will touch on it a little bit more. Oh, so you focus on the amethyst, but not the clear quartz. I see. So amethyst is a good beginner crystal because, you know, it's like I've been saying, it's accessible, it's common. You walk into any metaphysical store and you'll probably find an amethyst. Now, its price does depend on its size, and it's like that with any crystal, but with amethyst, something small like this, maybe $1 or $2, but you'll see like big chunks of amethyst that go for hundreds of dollars. So if you're just starting out or you're on a budget, these little guys that can fit in your pocket will do just fine. Now, amethyst is one of my favorites because I'm a college student, so I'm anxious all the time. So amethyst is really great for helping with anxiety. It's great to meditate with. It has a lot of calming and peaceful properties, and it's also good for love. If you want to sleep better, you know, you have to have intent with crystals, right? You have to kind of tell them what you want them to do, kind of like with herbs and whatnot. But if you want better sleep or better dreams, set an amethyst on your nightstand or under your bed. There's lots and lots of uses for amethyst, but they're usually within the realm of peace and calm. Next we have rose quartz. Now this is a rough rose quartz, so she's not the prettiest, but I promise she is a rose quartz. And rose quartz can be used for peace as well, and is also good for helping to like calm your nerves and whatnot, but this is a really good stone for love. If you need to work on self-love, if that's part of your shadow work, you know, maybe meditate with some rose quartz, or have it next to you while you're doing your shadow work on self-love. It's also good for love with a partner, as long as they consent. Don't perform or do magic on or with someone who doesn't consent, but this is good for love and schmex magic. So yes, all kinds of love rose quartz, but like I said, it's also good for peace, harmony. It's good for calming your nerves as well. Next, we have carnelian. Now I actually have one that says blessed on it. Any stones with carvings on them are always good. It's like an affirmation, right? But this is a carnelian. I remember carnelian was really popular on TikTok for a minute, saying that it would bring you a romantic partner and that it would do all these things for you. And like, carnelian can be used for love, but that's not its primary, in my opinion. I've had better experiences with carnelian in matters not related to love. They can be used for love. I think it's definitely better for self-love than romantic love. Like, if you need some self-care, if that's something that you need to work on, have some carnelian on you. If you need to get better at treating yourself, have some carnelian on you. But it's also really good for motivation and just has really like uplifting vibes. So, and who knows, you know, maybe there are some people who carried carnelian with the intent of finding a romantic partner and it worked. That very well might be the case. A lot of time crystals have the power that you give them. So whatever your intent is with the crystal, most likely it will bring it to you. But again, there are crystals that have like specific vibes and are good for specific things. So make sure that you keep that in mind too when you're working with them. Next, we have tiger's eye. Now mine that I have is in a cube, but there's lots of different kinds of tiger's eye. She's very pretty. And there's lots of different uses for tiger's eye. They can be used for, you know, beauty, self-love, things like that. But also, this is a really good motivational crystal. I see tiger's eye as like a tiger, like you're fierce, no one can stop you, you know, there's that kind of thing. Not everyone sees it that way. Again, it depends on your intent. But I do think that this is a really good confidence booster. Like, if you have a presentation at school and you have stage fright and you don't want to deliver this PowerPoint in front of a bunch of people and you're nervous, carry some tiger's eye in your pocket. It's good with confidence. It's good to help with nerves. Next, we have citrine, and mine is pretty small, but it's this little yellow guy. And citrine is pretty good for motivation. If you are a procrastinator like me, again, I'm in college, citrine is good for helping you with that. I also like citrine for money manifestations. I keep another piece of citrine in my wallet to bring money to me. And I like using it in spells involving money, put, some money related crystals in a circle around my candle, or, whatever it is that your intent is. Or when I'm making my candles, or when I have a new launch on my shop, I'll have a citrine in my pocket, things like that. And just manifestation in general, I feel like citrine is good for, but again, people will have different things to say about all of these crystals. Next, we have black tourmaline. Let's see if it'll focus. You can see it's got these kind of rough edges. You can get rough or smooth crystals. I know the majority of mine are rough, but like this is a fairly smooth one. This is a very smooth one. It's like a perfect cube. I have a rough black tourmaline, but like I said, you can get smoothed out versions as well. And when it comes to starting beginner witchcraft or beginner spirituality in general, I and many other spiritual people always recommend working on protection above all else. That should be the first thing that you learn how to do. Protect yourself from negative energies. Protect yourself from trickster spirits. Trickster spirits are rare, but it's still good to know how to protect yourself from them. Some people were asking me if I could make videos on like how to make spell jars. So like if you guys want a more in-depth video on how to make like a protection spell jar or just protections in general, let me know in the comments. But a good crystal for protection, almost any black crystal is really good for protection. Black tourmaline, black obsidian, hematite. Is it hematite or hematite? I don't know. But those kinds of crystals are really good for protection. But black tourmaline is very protective. And this is really good for protection spells or even just practical protection. Like if there's someone negative in your life that you would just kind of like to avoid for the day, put some black tourmaline in your pocket. And even if the person does show up, it'll protect your energy. It'll protect your energy and your vibes. It's also good to just have lying around, have some on your altar, like I said, for protection from negative energies, negative entities. It's good for cleansing. I like to set this in my singing bowl when I do my sound cleansing so that the vibrations from the crystal will kind of be like mixed with the vibrations from the sound and kind of be dispersed throughout my space when I'm cleansing. Lots of different uses for this. I like pocket-sized crystals just that you can carry them around, but black tourmaline. And finally, the last beginner crystal that I would recommend is Selenite. There's another name for this, and I forget what the other name is, but Selenite, look it, it's shiny. So the reason why I recommend Selenite is because it is good for charging your crystals. And a lot of people, ask, how do I cleanse my crystals? How do I charge my crystals? And every crystal is different. Some crystals can go in water and others can't. They can all go in moonlight, but not all of them can go in sunlight. Some of them can go in salt, others can't. So the reason why I like selenite is because it can charge and cleanse other crystals. Again, it depends on your intent, but it's a nice umbrella, and it's very versatile, kind of an all-purpose cleanser, cleaner crystal that can help cleanse and clean your other crystals as well as yourself. You might see people with like selenite wands going in a clockwise motion around their head to invoke positivity, or going in a counterwise clock motion to banish negativity, things like that. It's a very potent cleansing crystal for yourself and for your other crystals. So I just think that it's really convenient to have, especially because even though I have a lot of crystals, I still really can't remember which ones can and can't go in sunlight, which ones can't go in salt, which ones can't go in water. Like I don't got time for that. I'm not gonna remember. So I like having selenite around because it can charge and cleanse my other crystals, and it charges and cleanses itself, so you don't have to do anything with it. I mean, you can put it in the moonlight. I have a habit of putting my crystals under the full moon when it's a full moon, just because, again, I can't remember which ones can and can't go on the other things, but they can all go in moonlight. But, you can charge it under the full moon if you want, but you don't have to. It is self-charging and self-cleansing. So this was, I thought this was going to be a short video. It wasn't that short after all, I guess. That's going to be it for today's video, but if there's any other good beginner crystals that you guys recommend, or any other uses for the crystals that I mentioned in this video, let us know down in the comments. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.
Wait, don't go anywhere yet. I know I look like a hobo. That's because I'm filming this in the future and I just woke up. But I want to be sure to give you guys a good resource as to where you can find these crystals that I mentioned in this video. If you can't safely, go out to your local metaphysical shop due to COVID, or if you just don't have a metaphysical shop near you, then allow me to introduce you to Cosmic Cuts. Cosmic Cuts is an online crystal shop, and they have so much variety. They have crystals big and small. They have crystals for beginners. They have crystals for advanced collectors, anything that you could possibly think of. And I would really appreciate it if you guys would check them out using my affiliate link, which will be found in the description below. I couldn't make a crystal video and talk about all of these great crystals and then not give you guys a resource where you could find them. So click the link in the description to get your crystals from Cosmic Cuts today. And thank you guys so much for watching. Blessed be.